Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Success Grade podcast. My guest today, Dr. Hank. He is a mental scientist, success and happiness coach who has helped Fortune 100 companies and entrepreneurs build businesses, wealth, and health. He is the author of 15 best-selling books. Dr. Hank, welcome to the Success Grade podcast. How are you?
Well, thank you, Zaid. I'm doing great, man. And I just love your podcast and what you're doing out there and helping people. I love the success grid and how you're just all about helping people achieve greatness and
Awesome.
raise their standards. So I love it.
Thank you. You love the slogan?
Yeah, I know, baby.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. We might talk about that a little bit. Well, actually, not a little
Sure.
bit. A lot of things like that today.
Sure.
So, first of all, 15 books. That's
Yeah.
amazing. The second thing, I want us to tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? How do you
Sure.
help people? Give people the things that you've been doing around the years, and also tell us the story of the video, because I saw a video of you. You had some kind of accident.
Yes,
So
yes,
tell us a
yes.
little about that. Yeah.
Sure, you bet. Well, so I'll answer those questions in the order you gave them to me, Ben.
Okay.
And yeah, so they call me Dr. Hank because I'm a mental scientist. My PhD is in mental science. And basically what I help people do is to think about more about what they want and to expand their imagination. And so to understand that each one of us who's in, that we have every day about 60,000 thoughts. And out of those 60,000 thoughts, 80% of those thoughts are what we don't want. In other words, negative thoughts, things we don't like, we don't want. And 80% of the time that we're thinking about that. But what is even more astounding is 95% of the thoughts that we think are the same thoughts we had yesterday.
That's interesting. So it's 95%.
Yep,
Of the thoughts,
95.
yeah, that what we had yesterday.
So which means that in all of science has agreed that thoughts become things, that quantum physicists, molecular biologists, all the disciplines, the last 5 years, I've been teaching this for over 20 years, but in the last 5 years, all the scientists agree that to have anything in our experience, to have any of our dreams come true, it's 3 steps. It's our thought creates energy, and that energy, which is really our emotions, create matter. In other words, thoughts become things. And so if I'm thinking the same thoughts, okay, 95% of the thoughts the same. So if I think today the same thoughts I had yesterday, my tomorrows are pretty much the same. They're going to be the same, and then they're going to be negative and not, a lot of the stuff I want, because 80% of my thoughts are negative, or what I call unwanted thoughts. So what I have done is I've helped Fortune 100 companies. I've written 15 books about it, best-selling, Quilly Award-winning books. And that the whole reason is because I want to help people to know that we each have the power to be able to start creating the life of our dreams. And we can literally have our dreams come true. And as you share, to achieve greatness, that all of us can achieve greatness, and to raise our standards. Well, to raise our standards, it all starts with, what am I thinking about? And what I do is I help people, Hussein, to think more about what they want and to expand their imagination and to ask for answers and solutions. Einstein said you can't solve the problem at the level of the problem. You have to go beyond that. You have to think about the answers and solutions. And that's what I do in order to help people become their greatest possibility.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the video and the story, the accident that you had.
Yes.
What did the accident reveal in your life?
Yes, you bet. So before I get into specifics on that, I want to share with all of us that everything that we have experienced in the past is actually a blessing. And here's why. When something happens, the deal goes south, I get sick, I get in an argument, whatever it is. And I'm going to give you a technique right now that I use in my coaching to help each and every one of you, that when you have what I call that contrast, those things that happen that you don't like, don't want, you simply point to them and you, without any energy, okay, you just say, this is what I don't want. And then ask, what do I want? And you will start being given answers, solutions from all that is. In fact, I have a group called Angel Connections that's on Facebook. And that's when my angels talk to me, I share that good news with everybody. And so if you want to get on there, anybody is welcome to be there and to be able to do it, because the more we can be surrounded about good feeling thoughts and more about positive and answers and solutions, the more that we look in that direction instead of looking at our pity party, if you will, because see, whatever we focus our attention on grows. So if I'm thinking about me being sick, I'm going to be more sick. Well, my situation now on the accident that you asked about, 6 years ago, I was passing an 18-wheeler, a big truck that was towing another 18-wheeler. And when I was passing it, it got out of control and it went and literally took my car and totaled my car and totaled my body. That I don't remember it at all. The next thing I know, I wake up and I can't feel anything from my waist down.
Oh.
So I'm paralyzed. And I'm a veteran and the Vietnam veteran, and the VA did all their MRIs and everything on me and basically said, we can't do anything for you, that you are permanently homebound and permanently disabled, never be able to walk again.
This is what they told you?
Yep, this is what they told me 6 years ago. And so one of my things that I teach people, principles that I teach people, is that don't honor the God of other people's opinion. And so those doctors were telling me, and I'm grateful for the doctors and, love doctors and them, but that when they told me that I'd never walk again, I decided that I was going to take their word for it. Instead, I was going to take my higher power and God Almighty, all that is, and that I asked the opinion of God, if you will, the universe, that what do I want? And so I asked, what do I want? And the answer was, I want to walk. So I just imagined and started to visualize me walking, enjoying my life, and I was breathing deeply. Breath is the fastest way to connect with our higher power. I just breathed minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day, week after week. And all of a sudden, one day, I felt a little energy, a little movement in my right toe.
Yeah, cool.
And so I know that whatever I focus my attention on will grow. So I'm not going to focus my attention on the doctor saying I can't walk or that I can't feel anything. Instead, I focus all my attention on my little right toe. And what happened? It started to grow, that movement and that energy, and I could start having feeling now on my foot. And day after day, breath after breath, it moved up my right leg, across my waist, down my left leg. And so I went from permanently homebound, permanently disabled, to walking.
Well, that's awesome. That's great. Awesome.
And see, I just love that just for me to turn around like that, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
So see, what happened is I actually walk and feel better than I did before. And that's why everything is a blessing, but we have to point our direction to what we want. So many people say, I'm a walking miracle, but I say to all of us, we are all walking miracles, and we can be, do, and have it the way that we want it.
Exactly. Awesome. That's an amazing story, actually. Very inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
Sometimes doctors can be wrong. They are not. They are
Yeah,
not right all the time.
exactly. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, we can do it the way we want it.
Exactly. So let me ask you here. You talked about manifestation and imagination. So sometimes these words may be related to the law of attraction. So are we talking here about the law of attraction, or are we talking about the science, or is it law of attraction is actually a science?
Yeah, so actually this is all science, and what I say is actually my teaching is actually backed by science, that whether anybody believes in the law of attraction or not, it's playing all the time. It's functioning all the time. And here's why, is our thoughts are so powerful that we literally can mold the energy that has created worlds. We can mold that energy into what we desire. The reason why most people think, oh, I'm really not that powerful. Like, I've asked for more money and where's my stuff? Okay. And so it really depends. It's not so much on what you're thinking, but how you're feeling about it. So if you're saying, I want more money, you're actually feeling, and the signal that's going out to the universe and you're going to attract is you're really saying, I don't have enough money. And the universe will then respond and say, no problem, I'll make sure you get not enough money.
That's a new way. So what should the sentence be?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to help everybody right now. And so I would suggest you get a pen out and write this magical sentence down. I am known for magical sentences that literally go into your subconscious mind. In fact, I wrote one of my books, it's called Your Royal Path to Riches, and how to tap into the kingdom within. And what it is that our conscious mind is the captain of our soul, if you will, and our subconscious mind obeys whatever our conscious mind has said. So our subconscious mind has remembered since conception every feeling we've had, every thought we've had, and every experience we've had. And our subconscious mind has an opinion about every subject under the sun. So think to yourself on, what have I been saying about money? Like, do I say, oh, I don't have enough money? Or am I in, shopping and I see some good looking purse or whatever, and I go, oh, I can't afford that? Well, what you're doing is your conscious mind is telling your subconscious mind, and money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. I lived in Florida, and there's billions of dollars of money on trees, grapefruit trees, orange trees, So, and the filthy rich, well, hell, if you were told when you were 5 years old that, the filthy rich, you say, I don't want to be filthy, so I don't want to be rich. So we have all of these different things that others have shared with us, that we've heard, that we've experienced, that we thought about. And usually that it's not in our benefit. And so again, using money, that most of you will think about how many times you said, I can't afford that, or I have too many bills, or there's not enough. Okay, that when you say that, that goes from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind has a dominant opinion of every subject under the sun. And that dominant opinion is called our beliefs. So it is done unto us as we believe, but I'm also a behavioral psychologist. So what many of my peers will do is put you on a couch and say, let's dig this up and see what the problem is in your childhood or whatever. Well, remember, whatever I focus my attention on grows. So it's a rabbit hole. There's no end to that, okay? So instead, I have these magical sentences, and this particular one that I'm going to give you right now that people have literally paid thousands of dollars for. I'm going to give it to you for free.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
They have, yeah, because we all deserve the abundant life. We all deserve it. We all should have it. And so here's what you do. That I'm going to give you this magical sentence, but you need to write it down 21 times every day. And usually the best time to do that is in the morning or even at night, right before you go to sleep. And so by writing this, so let me, before I give you the magical sentence, that some people will just say affirmations like, I am rich, okay? Well, we have to have agreement between our conscious mind and our subconscious mind to have it manifested here on earth. So if you're saying, oh, but I've said 1,000,000 times, I am rich, but your subconscious mind has said, bullshit.
No, you're not going to be rich.
Yeah, there's no agreement there. You've told me 2,000,000 times there's not enough money, that your bills are too high, that the filthy rich, on and on and on. And so thus you get this. So what these magical sentences do is it overcomes whatever you've had in your subconscious mind. And now it becomes the dominant agreed upon thought. And it is this. And again, I would recommend you all write this down. Excuse me. It is, I easily accept, ACCEPT. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts. So that's the first part of the sentence. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts. And when you think about that, your subconscious mind doesn't have a problem with it. That I easily accept new prosperity thoughts. Subconscious mind says, no problem. Okay, I can think about new prosperity thoughts. And because that doesn't have anything to do with the past or, where you are right now. It has to do with where you're going, where you are in this red hot moment. And then the rest of the sentence, so I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income. So the second part, so I am prepared to increase my income. Subconscious mind says, no problem. Yeah, we're prepared to increase your income. And then the final word is now. See, if you say, oh, tomorrow, that tomorrow never comes, is that when tomorrow comes, you're in today. And so the subconscious mind says, no problem, tomorrow, but tomorrow, there's no end to that. But when you say now, and it's all in this red hot moment, literally, we all have the power in 1 minute to be able to start creating the things that we want.
And switch things over with this. Like when you say now, you start switching things over.
Yeah. And so, and again, just to finish up that sentence to make sure everybody gets, you got to write it 21 times every day. If you want to do it in the morning, at night, great. I easily accept new prosperity thoughts, and I am prepared to increase my income now. And that will take you to more income. And the reason why I don't use the word money is most of us have way too much resistance towards that thought. And we have, just thoughts, but income, is an easier word. But now talking about this red hot moment, that it really is all about, Hussein, us feeling good. Like everything that we want, that we we believe we'll feel better by having it. Okay. And so this whole idea of if you'll just feel good, you'll be led to everything that you want. But we've been told you got to work hard. You got to figure it out. It's not your job to figure out the how. We're only supposed to use our conscious mind to identify what we want and why we want it. And normally that comes from the contrast of things that we don't like. So, hey, when a deal goes south, that I say, hey, I want to build my business. I want to, we say, that's what I don't want. What do I want? I want to build my business. You know, get into an argument. Hey, I want to attract harmonious people and kind and loving people. That you want a car in the garage that, you know, you can't be saying, oh, I can't have a Rolls Royce. That anybody can have whatever you want. But again, I'd be easy on it because most people don't believe they can afford a $500,000, you know, whatever, vehicle. And so in this red hot, in 1 minute, I guarantee you that all of us can start being on our path. And that is simply to feel good. And when we feel good, we're literally on our path and we'll be brought everything that we've asked for. All of our prayers, if you will be answered. But most of our prayers, again, 80% about what we don't want, and 95% the same darn prayer yesterday. And so we get the same today and the same tomorrow. And one of the really helpful things is put on an index card, like a 3x5 index card, that I want to expand my imagination. Yeah, I want to expand my imagination. I want more answers and solutions of what I want. And so think about if you're on that side of answers, solutions, expand your imagination, you will literally attract thoughts, people, circumstances, and events that will make all your dreams come true one step at a time. Breathe deeply and know it's all coming your way.
Awesome that you say, like, for example, like you mentioned, income instead of money, because sometimes when we think of the money things, like you mentioned, a lot of things that outside or what happened to our family's father, mother, or whatever, the family, they didn't have that much money. Okay. And the people who have less money, so it becomes like some kind of negative thoughts, and you start thinking of, like, I want $1 million, but you actually stay in the same place.
Exactly. Yeah. Because
the next day, so you had the same thought, the same kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I change it up. So one of my books is just called Good Feeling Thoughts, and it's every day 7 thoughts that you read. And so I literally, have, October 8th, 2021, whatever, that I have 7 thoughts, literally the date is there, and then those 7 thoughts. And what it does, and I have people all over the world that read this, and typically first thing in the morning, and that they just get fulfilled on, they get these new thoughts and these new positive, good feeling thoughts. And it literally, as you do that, what you do is, using your terminology of law of attraction, is all of us have a set point on where our vibration is and what we're attracting. And so during the day, depending on where our thoughts are, we can eventually move that either up or down. So since most people have been thinking 80% of negative thoughts, it typically is going down, down, down. And I kind of like looking at it as, we're kind of living in hell then, if you will. Okay. So for us to now start thinking these good feeling thoughts and to relax and to breathe deeply, that what will happen is that it will start raising your vibration, which raises your point of attraction, where you will attract the thoughts, the people, the circumstances, and events to everything you desire.
So this is also can open the door for more opportunities in life, in business, in relationships,
Absolutely.
and things will start come to you even sometimes when you are not looking at them. Maybe, I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if I'm high flying at this high flying thing, that I'm aligned with all that is and all that I want, and that they'll come out of the blue. And typically it's a different path than you thought. Like you may say, hey, I want to increase my business. And then all of a sudden, wow, there's one opportunity. And the way to know what's kind of going on, if you will, is follow the energy. Where is the energy? You know, if you're not getting any responses, or, you know, business is moving, but, you know, part of the other business is go to that. A great example that I use is I have, I help one of my niche markets is real estate agents. And so I have Agent Wealth Success, and that's it's a Facebook page. It's also a .com, page, and so we're sitting here with that. There wasn't a lot of energy there, a couple people every day were signing up, but on Angel Connections on Facebook, that group, I noticed, oh my gosh, that I'm getting 5-10 people from all around the world every day signing up, and I'm not advertising or anything. So what I did was I realized, what do I really enjoy? And it's, wow, I love sharing what my angels, all that is divine intelligence, is sharing with us, that's what gives me joy. And by golly, it gives more. That's where the energy is. And so I went to the energy, and I just love it. And so my business continues to grow, but, it's growing because I'm feeling good about Angel Connections, and I'll get out of the blue. I just had someone yesterday call me from out of the blue, an old coaching client, call me and say, oh, Dr. Hank, I've just seen that, you just helped so much of my life was so great, but I kind of went back to my old thinking, et cetera. And so out of the blue, and so they just come to me, clients just come to me, and it's just all easy and fun when you're feeling good.
That's really deep, actually. I am amazing. So do you think people who want to go into this path of their own should stay away from the people who are negative?
Well, so and that's a little bit tricky there, and a lot of people get caught in that trap. If I'm focused on staying away from people I don't like, I'm focused on people I don't like, and I'll get more people that I don't like. So what you do is you start calling forth what you do want. I want to attract more harmonious, similar-minded, kind, loving, sweet people. That's why you and I met, Tuesday, because you're just a wonderful, kind, that's who loving person. And that's who I call forth. And that's how miraculously from around the world, that we're sitting here talking and discussing this good news. This is nothing but good news that I guarantee will work. I've helped thousands of people around the world do it, and we each have the power to do it right here, right now.
No, thank you first. Second, now with the internet, it's everything is more amazing and more cool. The connections you can get is make things easier.
Yeah.
So for example, if someone now wants their business to soar, how do you exactly help your clients? What are, let's say, the steps that you do?
Yeah. Well, the fastest way for you to grow your business is to contact me directly, because I can coach you and I can help you with your business. And the way that I do that is I don't necessarily tell you have to go do this, that, and this. Okay. That what I do is I actually channel with divine intelligence. So I ask divine intelligence, what are the best steps for you, for this individual that I'm talking to? And literally you'll get that'll come out of my mouth, and I'm not using my conscious mind on it at all, that those magical steps will be to grow your business, have more money, have better relationships, have better health. I've helped all kinds of people overcome cancer, overcome COVID, that, there's nothing to be afraid of or guarded about. It is about us making sure that we are, again, back to this feeling good and thinking about what we want. So I get your question, though. Hey, give me something tangible that I can use, to do it. Well, so what I would do is, because all of us can tap into infinite divine intelligence, that it's just a lot of people say, oh, I can't do that, and then you won't, because that's what you're asking for. And I've been doing it for years, so I can, like, on demand this channel with divine intelligence. But let me give a practical, if you will, way to that. If you'll just look, so let's say you want to grow your business. No, let's start out with, what kind of business do I want? It's about asking. And so ask, what type of business would I like? And what I want you to follow is not the money, but follow your emotions, your intuition on what feels best, because that will bring you not only all the money, but it'll also bring you happiness. And really, that's why we're here. In fact, the 3 reasons for our soul to be here and us to be here with our soul is, number 1, growth. And growth is going to happen because this world has all the contrast, everything I want and everything I don't want. The second reason why we're here is for more freedom. And so even the events around the world that have been happening, it actually is providing more freedom to all of us. And money equals freedom, by the way. More and more people that are becoming more middle class, if you will, more income throughout the world. In 20 years, that poverty basically will be gone from the earth. So things are actually getting better and better, because one of the things we want is freedom, and that's why our soul is. But the king of them all, the reason why, the prize, if you will, is joy. For us to be here for joy. And so if you ask, if you don't know what kind of business you want, ask, and just start asking and breathe deeply. This idea about breathing, it connects you with the divine to where you could get the answers and the solutions. Einstein did this all the time, and he was one of the most brilliant men that ever, and he said, it was not me, I just went out and I asked, and asked this creative intelligence, and he used his imagination and would just start seeing formulas and everything coming to him. And it's not that he was creating the formulas, he was asking for them and he was receiving them, and we all can do that. So number 1, ask, and be patient about it. Don't just say, hey, I asked and where's the damn answer? Yes, you need to be a relaxed, meek is a word to be, in other words, relax, be quiet your mind. Your little chattering mind is not your friend. That you want to relax, quiet your mind, and then you'll be able to hear the answers. Now, if you want to grow your business, that one of the easiest, best ways is to say, I want to grow my business. But say it often, and you can write that often, in fact. But you need it really in your conscious mind. I want to grow your business. That's a wonderful one. Subconscious mind has no problem with that. We all want to grow the business. So, it's good. And remember, business is service. It helps everybody. When you get what you want, other people get what they want. So
exactly.
And it's really this idea about when you thrive, the whole world thrives. Everybody around you thrives. So, people say, oh, but what about the poor? Well, being poor isn't going to help the poor. Okay. But you being the light and you showing yourself that, hey, I can make it, so can you, that will literally help the poor or anybody else that, the physical, whatever the handicap is, if you will, that you may think you have, that we all are inspired by each other when we see inspiring people. And so inspire yourself and ask to grow your business. You deserve it. And what you have, that's why you're there. That's one of your talents, and you want to share it with the world.
That's amazing. So, can people, or can you recommend some readings from your own books and other writers or authors that these books that are really valuable and provide value to people who read them?
Yes. So one of the books when I was just beginning this, I'm 18, 19 years old,
Oh, cool.
that Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. And about 20 years later, so that was a very good book, and you'll be able, he talks about on having committees. He'd have this committee and they were all in his head.
I read it, The Think and Grow Rich, but I also have his other book, The Law of Success, it's called. So
Yeah, sure,
yeah.
you bet. Now, what I did, I got his Think and Grow Rich book, his original manuscript.
Okay.
And I found out that because back then it was publishers kind of told you what to do. And the publisher said, look at this word vibration, we're taking it out. They took it out 37 times because it was just too much, they felt. So what I did is I wrote a book called Think, Feel, and Grow Rich. And that is the point on the feel, because that's the vibration. Okay, and so it's Think, Feel, and Grow Rich. So Think and Grow Rich would be a good start. That, now I just go to the source of all knowledge. Okay, so I don't read any book or have anything. That now I just ask and I get it from the divine, and like I say, so can you. But Think, Feel, and Grow Rich is one book that I would recommend. And the other one, you have to understand how the kingdom is within you, and your royal path to riches is a very good one. And the other one that, like if you're struggling right now, I help so many people when they go through midlife crisis, if you will. And by the way, let me share with you why there are midlife crises, and most people go through them. Is we've been told we got to work hard. And so we've looked at our parents, peers, whatever. We've seen, they worked hard and they became successful. And so thus it must be true. And so we accept it as a belief. And so what we've been all doing for the most part is we've been swimming upstream. And none of our desires are upstream.
Yeah.
But we've been told we got to go work hard, just do it and bite the bullet, and, sacrifice, and, all of this stuff. You're not supposed to be feeling good, and don't be selfish. And that one I get such a kick out of. Like, I can only think or feel for myself. I can't think or feel for anybody else. And when I do, and I try to please them, we're all changing. So today, what might please somebody else, tomorrow, that same person might have a different preference. So stop doing, and so this is a selfish, but again, selfish isn't a dirty word. Selfish is, oh my gosh, I made an image and likeness that I have the power to create with this, and I can only think and feel for myself. And when I do, then everybody else benefits as well. So everybody's been swimming upstream, and what I typically do is I help the people I say, stop, just stop, that there is a natural flow of life, and you can start getting into the flow of life. Stop, turn, and allow the natural flow of life to take you to all of your desires. That's where all your desires are downstream. Well, if you're in the middle of going up and down, another book I would recommend is my book, The Happiest Man in the World. And what that is that shares, and I tell you from my heart, Don, hey, I had a bayonet at age 9, ready to kill myself because my father was so abusive emotionally and mentally, physically, and blah, 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 and that was my old story on it. But what I do in that book is I take you through my ups and downs of life, and then for me to awaken and realize, I can rise above all of this, and I can simply observe it and just say, this is what I don't want, What do I want? And then when I do like something, I'm in a state of appreciation. Thank you so much for all the business, all the money, all the laughter, all the smiles, all of the amazing, miraculous things that are happening in my life. And so that's typically a good one too. So those would be my couple of recommendations.
Awesome. I can't wait to get these and actually read them. I like your title. Also, subtitle actually, Kingdom, the King Within.
The Kingdom Within, how to tap into the Kingdom Within.
Yeah, that's really cool, because everyone eventually is responsible for their own self. You have to take charge. And the fact that you're not talking about upstream, you're talking about downstream.
Yeah,
A lot of us keep going upstairs, but sometimes doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I get a kick out of, I know there's, many coaches out there that'll say like, come on, work hard and cold call or do all these awful things, that people don't want to do. And believe me, there's an easy path, and I'll be able to find that easy path for you easily and quickly. And so you don't need 30 years like I took, to be able to do it. That, hey, you're going to be able to, within a matter of literally weeks, that you'll be, on your path and raring to go. And again, it's not about selling the books or me coaching. It's about, for each one of us to realize that, wow, I have the power in this red hot moment to feel good. And I can think about good thoughts, think about what you appreciate, what you love, think about the most wonderful experiences you had on in your life. And if you'll just think about that in 1 minute, you'll raise your vibration, and all of a sudden these thoughts and ideas and how to grow your business, or what your passion is, or how to be healthier, it'll all start coming to you. Awesome. And so, but you have to have trust and faith that is the case.
Awesome. So this might be related to my next question. So what would you say one takeaway for the Grid Nation audience?
What's the question?
What would be one takeaway for this episode for our Grid Nation audience?
Yeah. So I think a takeaway, a couple of highlights is that it starts with your thought. And so stop thinking about the things you don't like, the things you don't want, the things that upset you, because all that does is bring you more upset, more things that you won't like. So discipline yourself. We each have the power to do this, to instead just be thinking about the things that you do want. The second point is the power of your breath. And again, we all think we got to be doing, and then we get do in our life. This didn't work out right, So quit doing. And really, it's about quieting your mind, about breathing deeply. So if you can breathe in 5 seconds, and then like all the way down to your toes, and then breathe out. And if you'll do that 6 times, because that's a minute, right? 10 seconds, breathe in and out 6 times, that you'll literally raise your vibration automatically, simply by deep breathing, quieting your mind. And then I think to leave with that, what I'll do, part of my coaching that I offer, excuse me, that is I give them a joy shot as part of my coaching. And what I'd be willing to give you and your audience is for free, that it is a way that will improve your thinking process. You do it every morning, takes about 15 minutes, called the Joy Shot. And you will read this Joy Shot that I send you. And then I'll ask you to write down 3 different things every day. And literally, that you will start seeing your life improving and more of the things that you want coming in to your experience.
Amazing. Where can people get in touch with you, Dr. Hank?
Yeah, you bet. So my email is real easy, drhank, for Dr. Hank, right? drhank at drhank.biz, B-I-Z, as in Zorro. And so Dr. Hank at drhank.biz. Also, Angel Connections on Facebook, great way to connect with me. And then you can just ask me, and I have links there to schedule an appointment with me, whatever free appointment you can also get with me. And so those are some of the easy ways to be able to get involved. But I ask each one of you, stand tall. If this feels good to you, do it. Write down, do the email, drhank@drhank.biz, go to Facebook, go to Angel Connections. But we need inspired action, not action. Okay. I don't want you to do. What I want you to do is, if you're inspired by what Hussein and I have spoken about today, that take this inspired action, and you know it's inspired if it feels good. Then, yeah, I want to ask Dr. Hank for the Joy Shop, or I want to get on Angel Connections, and I want to start expanding my imagination and having more positive thoughts. And if you do, I guarantee you that your life will take off like a rocket.
Awesome. Well, I will add to this, like make massive inspired action. Well, thank you, Dr. Hank, for being with me on this episode of the Success is Great podcast.
Well, thank you. And I thank all of you, and God bless you, and know that each one of you have the power to be, do, and have everything that you want, and for your dreams to come true. It's my pleasure, Hussein. Thank you so much for having me on this wonderful show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.